Welcome everyone to season 6, episode 6. Oh God. If there's a part 6, this is the devil show.
I mean, is anyone surprised?
No, I suppose not. Of the Hall of Fame show. I'm Kirk Buchner along with Evan Nolan, and we run notinhalloffame.com along with some big news coming soon from the United States Athletics Hall of Fame, www.theUSAHOF.com. At the moment, we've got 25 votes in. We're waiting on a couple others. Yep. And we have a pretty good idea who's going to be the replacement nominees.
The new nominees, the people, replacing people come in. Replacing nominees sounds bad, but yeah, we have a pretty good idea who's coming. The dividing line is somewhat arbitrary, so we're going to have to determine where it makes the most sense. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I know for sure. Well, we know one woman for sure is getting in.
4 or 5 probably.
So. Well, but one person.
Yeah, she's the leading vote getter. So yes.
Yeah, by far. So she's not going to get knocked off. And if you're wondering who that is, look at who's already nominated, and just go way back in the playback machine in tennis, and you're going to figure it out pretty easy.
Yeah,
and then realize, like, holy shit, how the hell was she not here before?
It's a very good question. She was my person from last year. I'm like, well, how?
Same.
Everyone kind of caught on this year. Looking at the resume, you're just like, yeah, she doesn't belong on waiting on the sideline. So
yeah, but anyway, So like we've got and some of the people who've helped out. We've sort of expanded a lot more in the world of journalism and sports journalism.
Yes,
so I'm pretty happy about that. We're still waiting on a couple of the OGs. Hopefully they
will have those very shortly.
And if they don't, that's okay. We've already exceeded what we did last year.
Yep. By the way, it's nice to see you. I've been doing a sojourn across the United States here. And the last 3 weeks, I've been to Texas. I've been to Wisconsin. I've been to Minnesota. I've been to South Dakota. I've been to Wyoming, Nebraska, Iowa, and now back to Illinois. I'm wearing all my swag. I got my Badlands National Park hat. By the way, it's the second one. I bought the first one, and within 45 minutes of buying it, the wind blew it off my head and into the Badlands. So I had to go back and buy it again. And then, of course, I bought the warning sign that I learned the most from. Don't
pet the fluffy cows. Okay, yeah.
For the bison. So,
yeah, I wish people, they should have that in Jasper, where I used to live, in Jasper, Alberta. And there's a scene. You watch Yellowstone?
I have not, but I know about it.
Okay. Yeah, there is a scene where Kevin Costner is sort of like yelling at a bunch of Chinese tourists to stop coming like near the wildlife. Yeah, I've witnessed that many a time.
Oh, yeah.
Not always Chinese, but yes.
We had a few prairie dogs get a little too close to the kids because they carry they're cute as heck, but they carry bubonic plague. So you don't want them getting too close and biting. But
yeah.
As much as they tried, that didn't happen. South Dakota, absolutely loved it. Have nothing bad to say about it. It's closer than North Dakota. So it's a good place to be.
Well, there's a big Hall of Fame news since we last spoke. The Basketball Hall of Fame has announced their class of 2025. Gut reaction for me, this is a great class, but it's also a shit class.
Because they had to speed up to get there?
They had to speed up to get there, and basically they've sort of said, from this class, if you're not alive, forget it. If you're not somebody who can draw, you might as well forget it. I've said it before. I've never been more confident than saying this again at this point. This Hall of Fame is bankrupt, or they're broke and they owe a shit ton of money. It's the third time in 10 years, maybe less, I have to go back in my notes, that they've had to reduce the time frame for when you can become eligible, going from 6 to 5, 5 to 3, and now 3 to 2. There's not a lot of place you can go left.
Yeah.
And the only reason you do that is it's not because of what they say. which is, I mean, we're just we just need to get a bunch of people, and just recognize them in their due fashion. No, whatever the fuck it was. AKA, we're broke.
Mm-hmm.
We need to fill asses in seats. That's what I read from this. I have no insight, Evan. I don't know their books, but
that's what makes the most sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. This Hall of Fame, more than any. First of all, the Hall of Fame. This we all agree of the four major sports is the easiest Hall of Fame to get into.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just the moving up of stuff has been particularly. I mean, we said this when they moved it up for. It's the first time they moved it up for Duncan and Garnett and Kobe. Or was it before that?
No, it was before that when they moved it up for Shaq, Yao Ming, and I forget who.
Oh, okay.
Iverson,
that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, the class I ended up with, there's nobody that we have any complaints about.
No.
They all deserve to be here. My only question is the team, but we'll get there in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a good sign when you have to work this hard in order to get there.
So just like a quick Google search will tell me that they draw the least of the four big ones, despite having the advantage of being near a major city. That's
sort of.
Well, how far is Springfield from Boston?
2 hours.
It's 2 hours? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's as far across the state of Massachusetts as you can get.
Okay.
So, and it's probably closer to Hartford, I'd imagine, and Albany.
Okay. All right. So I still don't know why Springfield. Someone's going to have to explain that one to me.
Because that's technically where Naismith invented basketball.
Okay. Well,
Naismith was a physical education teacher in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Springfield. Well, I mean,
they really do need a monorail. That would help.
Only if it goes to a North Haverbrook.
Yeah, there you go.
I think it was Bill Simmons. I was about to say Ben Simmons, who will never get into this hall. But I think Bill Simmons suggests for like putting it in Indiana.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they moved the College Football Hall of Fame. I visited it when it was in South Bend, and they moved it to Atlanta, and that seems to have done a lot better for it. So,
except for that time it burned.
Well, I mean, details. But I mean, there's got to be a better. I mean, put it as part of like Madison Square Garden. I mean, there's got to be a place where it's going to draw. It's what Springfield's got. So I don't know exactly what the plan is, but we should stop complaining about it and start talking about who actually did get in.
All right. So I don't have this in any particular order, unless you want to do this in an order that you've got that makes sense to you.
Sure. I mean, let's just start with the team. Well, let's start with the headliners. So, in my opinion, the best person on this list is Sue Bird.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Sue is one of the beneficiaries of this new rule. She would have gotten in 2026 had it been before. Sue, you can make a case for her as in the Mount Rushmore of women's basketball, and if not, at least top 10. An icon here in the home office here in Seattle. She's accomplished everything that you want out of a basketball player. Olympic gold, champion, retired number, multi All-Stars, MVP.
Four-time NBA champion, 21 seasons all the same team, 13-time All-Star, which is a record in the league. One 25 greatest players in league history, all-time leader in wins as a player, all-time leader in games played as a player, all-time leader in assists and minutes, first team WNBA, five Olympic gold medals, 5 FIBA World Cup medals, led the UConn to 2 NCAA titles, and was a Naismith Player of the Year in 2022, as well as being the first pick of the 2002 WNBA draft. I mean, what else could she have done essentially as a player?
I don't think they'll let her be the headliner.
No, but I'm just saying in terms of like resume, I feel like her resume is greater than that of anybody else's here.
Yeah, and yeah, that has to be agreed with. And amazingly, that one didn't leak.
And oh yes, because she knows how to keep a secret. Is all I can say.
Apparently, so did Megan Rapinoe. That's amazing in itself.
That is true.
Yeah, like, wow.
While we're at it, before we get to the male headliners, let's just acknowledge the other two women players are here.
Yeah,
Sylvia Fowles, 4-time Olympic gold medalist, 2-time WNBA champion with the Minnesota Lynx, won Finals MVP both times, all-time leading rebounder in WNBA history, 8-time All-Star, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. So another very, very great, good career. And Maya Moore, who it's crazy to me that she's old enough to be there, but only 7-year career, but she was with the Minnesota Lynx for 4 WNBA championships. She and Fowles were on the 15 and 17 teams, which is also on the 13 and 2011 teams. She stepped away from basketball in the middle of her career to work on criminal justice reform, which is kind of an amazing thing. You don't see that often. The only other person I can think of doing anything like that, the two of them that come to mind are Pat Tillman, of course, in a completely different capacity, and Myron Roll, the defensive back from Florida State, who ended up becoming a cardiac surgeon in the middle of his career after he got drafted. He was a second-round draft pick and then just never went. But there aren't that many people who do it. But 2-time gold medalist, well, 2-time FIBA World Cup gold medalist or winner as well.
I think there was a Kansas City Chief during COVID who decided he was going to, I could be mistaken on that, but a Canadian-born player, I think a tackle, who just decided he was going to like work in medicine instead.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, there aren't that many people who step away, but good on her. She was also a 2-time Naismith Women's Player of the Year in 2009 and 2011, leading the Huskies to back-to-back undefeated seasons in 2008, 2009, 2009, 2010. Yeah, the Huskies don't win anything anymore, right?
No, I heard that. Actually, another note on Maya Moore, something that our friend Chris Meridian noticed. With the new rule, she's the only of the player group who did not benefit from the extra year.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So, I mean, like she would have been eligible regardless. And just sort of like a point there regarding her as we sort of move on to the players.
Yeah. So then, of course, the two guys who couldn't keep their mouth shut, who we all knew were getting in anyway.
Well, this is why they had this rule in the first place.
Yes. Carmelo Anthony, 10-time NBA All-Star, 3-time Olympic gold medalist, member of the 75th anniversary team. Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us are surprised to see Carmelo Anthony here.
Yeah, just like an amazing pure scorer. I mean, yeah, there are some deficiencies in his game, which is, I think, why you sort of like led with Sue Bird. Carmelo, we saw his issues in New York, saying that a worthy member of the 75th anniversary team, he redeemed himself. I don't know. That seems weird to say, redeeming himself, but he reinvented himself eventually successfully. Everyone will remember him mostly with the Knicks. I like to remember him mostly with Portland, when he just sort of showed, you know what, I can do this in my second half of the career or the late stages of your career, and that's tough for a lot of people to do. And we've seen that, this year with Russell Westbrook, one of his peers, and that's something that I love to see, because you wouldn't think, a lot of people didn't think, a lot of GMs didn't think that Carmelo could do that and still provide value. But Carmelo's here. A lot of people say, well, he never won anything, but like you said, 3 gold medals, and he led Syracuse to a national championship.
Yeah, I mean, he was the best. He was the best player in college basketball that year, and maybe in my lifetime that I can remember, just overall player, because I don't really remember the Patrick Ewing era. But from what I remember, the heart of when college basketball was college basketball, it's hard to remember a better freshman anyway than Carmelo Anthony. He's also, by the way, 6 times was on All NBA and led the league in scoring one year, as well as being he's still 10th in all-time scoring in NBA history.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
there's no way 10th in scoring in NBA history is not getting into the NBA Hall.
Right, and as he should, and congrats to him. And he's actually getting in twice this year.
He is. We'll get to the other one in a second. A lot of people are now two-time members of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Well, Dwight Howard, you talked about the 75th anniversary team. Here's somebody who got screwed out of that spot.
Correct.
And say what you want about the second half of his career. I've said a lot. But that first half of his career, Dwight Howard might be the last true great center in pro basketball. Traditional center.
As a traditional center, yeah, is the way you're looking at it. There are a few traditional centers left, but I don't think that anyone's thinking that Zubats out of the Los Angeles Clippers is ending up in the Hall of Fame at any time.
Right.
Dwight Howard, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 3 straight from 2009 to 2011, 8 in All NBA selections, led the NBA in rebounding 5 times, twice in blocks, 10th all-time in rebounds, 13th all-time in blocks. He did lead the Orlando. I mean, he had more playoff success than Carmelo on his own. If you remember, he beat the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals and led Orlando to the 2009 NBA Finals, and then would later win a championship in the
bubble year in 2020.
Bubble year in 2020.
Yeah. But he wasn't the same guy. And I think Kobe sort of said it best. He knew that Howard wasn't going to fit when they signed Howard, and the first thing that Howard asked him is, "So how?" I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact quote, but it was like, "So can you hook me up?" I don't think he said it like this, but can you hook me up with some Hollywood contacts or something to that effect? Dwight, again, like I said, the second half of his career was suspect. He became a journeyman, and a lot of teams didn't necessarily want him. He probably could still be playing now. I truly believe that based on his size and skill set. But at the same time, basketball moved to a more perimeter game, which didn't do him any favors. And he had issues with not understanding, like we talked about Carmelo, not taking a long time to realize you're not the alpha. Dwight Howard never realized that until it was too late.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but apparently, like when he gets his induction, he's going to enter through the back door.
Oh boy,
I couldn't help it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So let's just finish off the North American committee here. What we're talking about.
And I like the way you're sort of like moving away from that, and you're right to do.
There's no way to continue with it that I'm interested in. So the 2008 Redeem team, the 2008 Olympic men's basketball team, known as Redeem team. It gets elected into the Hall. Perfect 8-0 record, average margin of victory of 27.9 points. Kobe Bryant becomes a 2-time inductee. Jason Kidd's a 2-time inductee. Dwayne Wade is 2-time inductee. Carmelo Anthony gets in twice the same year. Dwight Howard gets in twice the same year. Bosch becomes a 2-time inductee. Mike Krzyzewski, and then of course LeBron James and Chris Paul are still playing, are also now members of the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and this is I think you were sort of alluding to this earlier. This is sort of the team maybe you've got issues with, not because of the team, but because of when. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, I just feel like,
please, LeBron, please come, please.
Yeah,
Vanessa Bryant, you got nothing else to do.
It seems more like that. I don't have a problem. It just also seems, I don't feel like teams should be inducted when people from those teams are still playing professionally.
And the 36 team is still out there.
36 team is still out there, right?
But you can't draw with that team.
True.
And this is the thing that reeks of desperation. And I think you agree, I agree. I think everyone who follows basketball will agree that this is a historic team. But
But why now?
We know why.
I know, but outside of the cynical reason, that it's not time yet. There's still, like we said, 2 people on this team are still playing.
One at an elite level still.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's going to make probably second team All NBA this year, I'd imagine. LeBron.
Yeah, he's still, for all we can say negative on LeBron, and I have, as much as I've said good stuff about LeBron, but LeBron is here. But I think they're desperate to get these people there to sell tickets that they need to sell. I'm convinced of that. Oh, who could induct them? Because what LeBron and Wade up, they could let P Diddy out. I hear they've been to the same party.
All right. No. Let's back off.
Last one, I promise. I had these two queued up.
Just by the way, Jim Boeheim also officially becomes a two-time inductee because he was an assistant coach on that team. But I would also like to congratulate the following people who are officially members of the Hall of Fame. You ready, Kirk?
I'm ready.
Nate McMillan, Mike D'Antoni, Michael Redd, Deron Williams, Tayshaun Prince, and everyone's favorite Hall of Famer, Carlos Boozer. All members of that team, and now all members.
If they did football plaques, they've got to do one when he did that spray hair.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, no, but I mean, again, we don't have any problem with the team. We just have a problem with the timing of the team because there are better. Again, there are people still playing. You just wait till everyone's done playing. It's going to be like 3 years. You still get everybody back.
I know there's some more people to go through, but while it's fresh in my mind, I mean, who's your lineup for next year? Blake Griffin's your headliner?
I mean,
I like Blake, but you did this to yourself.
Yeah.
Now what do you do? Do you guarantee when LeBron retires, they're putting him in right away? They're going to give him the Gretzky treatment, which it's hard to sort of argue that maybe he's that one guy who sort of deserves it, but they're not going to do it because they feel it's appropriate. They're going to do it because they need to.
So here are your people who are eligible for next year.
Okay.
A couple of former Celtic greats, Kemba Walker and Gordon Hayward, Danny Green, Otto Porter Jr., former MVP Derrick Rose is eligible next year. Ish Smith, Mike Muscala, Joe Harris. It's a tough list because those are people who are out 2 years, right?
Oh, it's a good list for Derrick Rose.
Yeah. Oh, I guess. I mean, they would have a retire in 2023 or no, 2024, right? That's just 2 years.
No, 2023 because of the way the seasons sort of work out.
Oh, okay. So hold on. Yeah. That's not the right list. Hold on then. So that's what's coming 2 years from now, in case you're wondering.
Okay.
People who retired in 2023. Rudy Gay, Blake Griffin, Udonis Haslem, Serge Ibaka, Andre Iguodala, Victor Oladipo, Austin Rivers, Ricky Rubio, John Wall, Nerlens Noel, Myers Leonard. So George Hill. Yeah, it's a tough list. Goran Dragic, Rudy Gay, Georgie Dieng, Michael Carter-Williams.
I don't think you could put together a top 4 seed with that team.
Probably not. It would be Blake. It would be Udonis Haslem probably at the center. Blake. No, it'd be Serge Ibaka at the center. I apologize.
Yeah.
So Serge Ibaka, Blake.
I like Ibaka, forward, but
Iguodala at one guard. Yeah, it'd be tough. I guess John Wall the second guard, and is my other Danny Green. Gordon Hayward's my other forward.
Green's a glue guy. I mean, you could do something with that team, I'm sure, but
yeah. So your starting lineup is Ibaka, Griffin, Hayward, Wall, and Iguodala.
Well, and we have a recent retirement. I'm gonna again forward a little bit because we're here. Elena Dendon, so she's going to be eligible because she didn't play last year, and because so that now none of these people are going to fill a room either.
Probably true. I mean, is there another team they can induct now? Can they do LeBron's high school team?
Can they do LeBron while he's still playing?
Yeah, they may. So,
I mean, that's your other problem. I mean, look at some of the superstars now. Jokic and Giannis are two Europeans who are incredible, fundamentally near perfect, and they're not going to fill a room either.
Maybe. I mean, people would come to see Giannis. And I mean, what they need to do is induct a Celtic. If there are any left, they can go get, so they can get people from Boston to come up. Or a Nick.
Kendrick Perkins.
No. Oh no, he's not a Celtic anymore. We've gotten rid of him.
Well, should we talk about the remainder?
Yeah, we should talk about the remainder.
Again, great people here. Well, we got referee Danny Crawford. I'm not the ref guy, or I don't know anyone who is really, but 23 straight. I guess if you're an NBA referee and you're not known for cheating, I don't know what else to say here.
Yeah, Danny Crawford was around for a very long time. He's actually a resident of Naperville, Illinois, where I was actually at an event earlier today.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Danny Crawford was a very good referee. Absolutely nothing bad to say about him being in here. And it's nice to see referees getting elected to something Pro Football Hall of Fame. Yep. Speaking of Chicago connections, current Chicago head coaching legend Billy Donovan, who coached Florida to 2 national championships. Not that they've won anything ever since then.
The second time you got to use that. You see, you got things queued up too.
I didn't mean to, but yeah.
Yeah, just yours aren't offensive like mine.
But yeah, former coach of the Thunder, 500 victories at Florida and Marshall. 2 national titles, 06 and 07. I think the last player from those teams in the league is Al Horford still. I don't think anyone else.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
Noah was on that team too, right?
What?
Joakim Noah,
yeah. And why can't I think of anybody else right now? There are a bunch of them. They'll come to me. Also played in, do you know who his college coach was?
I do not.
So he played at Providence under Rick Pitino.
Okay.
So he was there. So, so who was also a member of the Hall of Fame. But yeah, Billy Donovan. We can go over who didn't get in because there were a few.
There's still one more who got in.
Sorry, I know. I'm sorry. I made a pun without meaning to there. I said who didn't get in because there were a few, and Mark Few was the other.
Oh, okay.
I did a pun without meaning to.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, of the coaches here, it makes sense.
No issue. No shock, no issue. And we conclude with Mickey Arison. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you owned the Miami Heat and you brought him to 3 titles.
Yep.
That's all I need to know.
Yeah, and he has had, again, since he's there, Ray Allen, Chris Bosh, Tim Hardaway, Alonzo Mourning, Shaquille O'Neal, Gary Payton, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and Jimmy Butler. So those first ones are all Hall of Famers. James will be. Butler, I'd imagine, will be.
I think so.
Pat Riley is already a Hall of Famer. I bet Spoelstra will be a Hall of Famer eventually.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There's hardly, if we're going to put in owners, it's hard to argue against Mickey Arison.
Yeah, and you've got the list of those who were finalists and did not get in.
Yeah, so the ones who did not get in, Mark Few, already mentioned, the coach of Gonzaga, former another coach, Jerry Welsh, who I can't remember where he was. Jerry Welsh had a 494-141 record at SUNY Potsdam, leading them to the Division III national title and 3 Final Four appearances. So on the great Division III coaches, he suffers from nobody knowing much about Division III. For players, the only 2 who did not get elected on the men's side were Marquez Johnson and Buck Williams.
Yeah, and if I could just go to the earlier point that we were making, if you aren't playing recently, you want to talk about recency bias. I don't know what more to say. Buck Williams, Marcus Johnson, and they're the 2 people who are hurt the most by this rule. You'd have to think.
Yeah, I mean, Buck Williams is 65, Marcus Johnson is 69. So they still got time, and I expect they'll get in, particularly if the classes get a little bit thin here. But
that should have happened already this year. Like this was the year for
this was the year that they should have gotten in as the headliners. So from the women's committee, they all elected everybody except for Jennifer Atsey, who was the 1990 Naismith Player of the Year, leading Stanford the 1990 NCAA National Championship and most outstanding player of the tournament. She won a gold in the 96 games and gold at the 90 and 98 FIBA World Championships. But she was a little too early for the real WNBA. So she's a member of the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, but didn't get elected here. Also, Molly Bolin, who the first player signed the Women's Professional Basketball League, Machine Gun Molly, another great candidate for all this stuff. But again, been a long time since anyone knew who she was. Also, Dusan Ivkovic, serial green basketball player, 6 decades as a member of, as a coach, one of the 50 greatest EuroLeague contributors ever. A member of the FIBA Hall of Fame, a whole bunch of other stuff. Coach Yugoslavia, Olympic silver in 88. But yeah, so I also coached, among others, Drazen Petrovic, Vlade Divac, and Peja Stojakovic. And then the last one, contributor Tal Brody from Maccabi Tel Aviv, coach, another international coach. So I'd say Mark Few is really the big name of the people left out. But I'd expect Mark Few is going to be in the next couple of years anyway. So
I guess what we're looking at here, because there's separate committees that sort of look at this. So there's the North American Modern Committee, the men's and the women's modern. So correct me if I'm wrong, only those 2 committees actually got anybody in.
Yeah, the women's committee and the North American committee.
Because there's the men's veteran.
Oh, and the contributor group, but I guess that's not a committee. Mickey Harrison's contributor.
Okay, yeah. Well, but there's no. I think he was part of the North American though.
Okay, and they listed him as a contributor, but whatever.
Right, but I mean, like, I think in terms of the groups that.
Okay, understood.
Yeah, because it used to be like the international had a direct elect, so we saw that there was international candidates, but I guess it's sort of like now with the Pro Football Hall of Fame, up, down, whatever, or who knows? We don't know. We don't have a clue. Yeah. All I know is who's ever on that international committee, the veterans committee on both men's and women's. You got to be thinking, what am I doing this for?
Mm-hmm.
If there's a committee at all, we don't even know that.
That's also true.
You know, like they put out, and a lot of people don't know this because the Basketball Hall of Fame, as much as Evan and I can start off by praising this class, we know nothing about their process. Zero.
Yes, correct.
You all listening know nothing. For all you know, Evan and I are fucking with you, and we're the committee. We're doing this just for kicks.
No, we're Daft Punk. Don't you forgot that
part? Can't we be both?
Sure, we'll give you both. We're both.
Yes. So it's frustrating at the same time, especially considering that when they put their preliminary list, you think the Pro Football Hall of Fame's got a lot of preliminary list? Take a look at the preliminary list the Basketball Hall does in each of these committees.
Yeah.
And they tell you nothing about those people. I did a whole write-up on all of these people.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 of them, I couldn't figure out who they were.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think that maybe they could help out with that, but
they don't.
They don't. So enough knocking the process. Congrats to those who got in. You're a loaded group. It's going to be fun. But this might be the biggest criticism I've ever had since we've been doing this.
Certainly the Basketball Hall of Fame. We've had some things.
Yeah,
we've had some things to say about rock and roll before. So, and we've had some things to say about this year's Football Hall of Fame. So,
yeah, that's true too. So much so that we're not going to meet up this year because I'm not going.
Okay.
I don't think you are either.
Probably not. So,
yeah, I know Chris isn't. I know Ron isn't. I haven't asked Jack. I don't think he is either.
Interesting.
Well, no Packer, so.
True. Let's talk about that Pro Football Hall of Fame while we're here.
Oh, well, with a pretty big retirement.
Pretty big retirement.
Yeah, eligible in
trivia question.
Oh, go ahead.
What is his real name?
It's not Julio?
It is not.
Okay, I got no clue then.
So we're going to announce the official retirement of Quintorris Lopez Jones Jr.
Oh.
Quintorris Lopez Jones Jr., better known as Julio Jones.
Damn. Well, look what I learned today.
He did not play last year, so he officially retired, meaning that he is now eligible for the class of 2029.
Yeah, although apparently, according to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, when they sort of like announced that, they said, "Oh, you're ready for 2030." Intern strikes again.
So, of all the players eligible for the Pro Football Hall of Fame who are wide receivers, he would be fourth amongst them when he gets there with the people who are there now. I'm just hoping the other three are cleared out of the way before he gets there. So according to Pro Football Monitor, who ranks all the wide receivers ever, they have Julio Jones as the 13th greatest wide receiver in NFL history. So the 12 they have in front of him are Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Marvin Harrison, Larry Fitzgerald, who becomes eligible for the first time. Is it this year or next year? I think it's this year.
He's eligible. Yeah, he's eligible coming up. Yeah.
Terrell Owens, Steve Largent, James Lofton, Lance Allworth, Chris Carter, Tim Brown. All those guys are Hall of Famers except Fitzgerald. Reggie Wayne and Torrey Holt were multiple-time finalists and should have been in already if there were a real thing. Then Julio Jones is 13th. Behind him, by the way, Antonio Brown, which would be an interesting case when he comes up in 2 years. Paul Warfield and finalist Steve Smith Sr. Okay, and after that, you get to the average Hall of Fame wide receiver. So all those guys are above average according to Pro Football Reference's Hall of Fame model.
We're going when Brown gets in just for the speech.
Do we have to wear it's like going to Gallagher? You have to wear slicker to make sure you're safe from. So.
We could cosplay and sort of put ice on our feet or something. But yeah, Julio Jones, the only thing knock on him is his lack of touchdowns. I want to say 66. And I say only 66, but there's some wide receivers who certainly have considerably more than he does. But Julio Jones to me is a Hall of Famer. He
should have won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Not his fault, but
not 100% not his fault. They stopped throwing to him and they kept running. They stopped running and didn't throw to Julio. Other than that, I don't know what else he could have done. But he's got 66 career touchdowns.
So I was right, 66?
Yep.
Okay.
So 13,703 yards, 914 receptions.
But in the hardest position to get in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, no.
Agreed. Two-time first team All-Pro, 3-time second team All-Pro, 7-time Pro Bowler, finished 6th for Offensive Player of the Year in 2015.
Yeah, the only other significant retirement of former Saint, Teron Armstead, who's probably not going to get in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, a lock for the Saints Hall of Fame, pretty good player in his own right, and certainly somebody that I'm going to have to acknowledge.
Yeah, so 1-time second team All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah,
Armstead. They have him as the 68th best tackle on Pro Football Reference.
Yeah.
So,
and I guess sticking with football, that's something that sort of was big that you and I were sort of messaging back and forth while you were on work vacay/personal vacay. The New England Patriots.
Yeah, so the Patriots who have
this is yours. Take it.
Yeah, so the Patriots are the best one of the best Hall of Fames. I think we've agreed that it's pretty much the Patriots and the St. Louis Cardinals, in our opinion, do the best work at it. So the Patriots Hall of Fame, the way it works, when we've been over this many times, it's been a while because we didn't have to talk about last year because they just did Tom Brady by acclamation, so they didn't really have a vote. But normally what happens is sometime probably this weekend, they're going to announce 3 people who are going to be finalists for the Patriots Hall of Fame, and then fans will vote online and one person will get in. I expect, just by the way, those 3 people, and this, I mean, talk about a tough list of people for it to be, but I expect those 3 nominees to be Logan Mankins, who was the last person left on the ballot from 2023. So that would be his 3rd time on the ballot. He lost out to Vince Wilfork and Mike Vrabel in the previous times. And then, again, nobody did last year as a Brady. But there are 2 first-time ballot people here in Julian Edelman and Adam Vinatieri, which is as Patriots Hall of Fame classes go, that is a tough class. I'm sorry to Mankins. He's not going to beat Edelman or Vinatieri.
No.
It'll be interesting. I think it should be Vinatieri who gets in, personally, but it would not shock me if it ends up being Edelman. Because he is absolutely beloved here and retired as a Patriot rather than go down to Tampa and keep going with his career with Brady. And that means something to fans around here.
And he's in commercials now with Brady.
His commercials, and he has a great podcast. Have you ever seen his podcast, Games with Names?
I have. He was phenomenal on the Tom Brady roast.
He was
probably
great.
Got him some of the commercial work.
Yep. But yeah, so that's what it is. But the other thing is it used to be every 5 years, and they've now changed it. So in 2023, they had a special. Every 5 years they used to do a senior candidate. And although every once in a while they'd throw in a contributor. So in 2000, this current setup started in 2007. So first one was in 2009 where they got Billy Sullivan, the old owner of the Patriots, got in. Then the first senior candidate was AFL All-Pro John Morris. Then they inducted Gil Santos as a contributor. Santos was dying of cancer at that time, or was sick at that time. We didn't necessarily know it. He's since passed away. Then in 2015, they elected Houston Antwine right after he died, another All-Pro from the AFL. And then Leon Gray, offensive lineman. And then in 2023, they used it for the first time in 10 years, they put Dante Scarnecchia, our all-time great offensive line coach. If their offensive line coach is Pro Football Hall of Fame, Scarnecchia would be way at the top of the list. But what they did this year, interestingly, was Bill Parcells has been a finalist 4 times for the fans to vote on. And all 4 times the Patriots fans have rejected voting him in. So he has lost out to, over the years, Drew Bledsoe, no surprise there. Troy Brown, no real surprise there. Ty Law, and then Richard Seymour. Patriots fans are very divided on Parcells. He went 32-32 in his 4 seasons here, led the team to the Super Bowl, but then started negotiating with the Jets during the week before the Super Bowl to become their coach, and then stole Curtis Martin from the Patriots in the offseason. So just to say that he is a controversial figure in Patriots history is very, very understated. And for that, the fans are super duper divided. But Bob Kraft came out and said that the team would not be the same without him. And that while both of them were still alive, he thought that it was the time to get Parcells in. Now, I think I said something else. This was done on April Fool's Day, so originally people weren't sure whether this was true or not until Kraft came out. But I would just like to give you 3 resumes, and you tell me which one you'd prefer to have. Would you prefer the coach who went 46-39, which is .541 winning percentage, went to the playoffs twice, went 0-2, but was the UPI Coach of the Year once? Would you like the coach who went 48-39, which is .551 winning percentage, twice to the playoffs, went 3-2, lost the Super Bowl, but was a UPI Coach of the Year? Or do you want the coach who went 32-32, which is .500, 2 playoffs, going 2-2, lost the Super Bowl? It was a 94 AP and UPI Coach of the Year.
And stole a player. Yeah, I mean, it's
So for those who aren't familiar with Patriots coaches, the first one's Chuck Fairbanks, the second one's Raymond Berry, and the last one's Bill Parcells. None of those guys are in the Patriots Hall of Fame. Only Fairbanks has really ever been discussed. And to be fair, Fairbanks, that Patriots team got absolutely screwed by a terrible roughing the passer call on Sugar Bear Hamilton against the Raiders in the playoffs. The Raiders would then go on to win the Super Bowl that year. They called him for a late hit as he hit the quarterback as he was releasing the ball. And the Raiders got a first down when they should have turned over and downs. The Patriots should have won the game.
That's rare. Usually bad calls never affect football.
I know. Particularly. I mean, that was back when, the Patriots were the fifth team in Boston. I'm not sure what the fourth team was, but it wasn't the Patriots.
Some team roller derby, maybe.
Maybe. Could have been probably probably a hockey team of like the BU Terriers or something. But I just think Fairbanks is a much better candidate, but he's also no longer here. I don't know otherwise how else he's ever going to get in. I get the Parcells thing going in, but this is literally the only way that he was ever going to get in. And I think there's an argument that Ray Berry should get in before him as well.
No, I see your point on that. And it certainly did. There were some controversial, not controversial takes. So there were some people who certainly agreed with you on that one. I was reading a couple articles on that, some other mainstream publications. So you're certainly not alone in that. But either way, here we are. And congrats.
Yeah, I guess. And it's funny because under Patriots team rules, Belichick's eligible next year. So I hope that Kraft, Parcells are both there for Belichick being elected next year. So that's a weird thing because now if Belichick goes in the same way, unless they do it by if they do it by acclamation, if Belichick's up, he's going to beat whoever lost out between Vinatieri and Edelman, and that other person is still there for getting in the way of Logan Mankins getting into the Hall. And I think Logan Mankins needs to be in the Patriots Hall before he gets real consideration for the Pro Football Hall.
And out of the three, Belichick will have the hottest spouse, which is weird in itself.
I'd say that's probably true. He definitely had the youngest. I don't know.
I'd say that I don't even know what the others look like. So
wasn't Edelman married to Adriana Luna at one point? Supermodel? I think he was. So who knows? I don't know.
I'm talking out of my ass on that one. I really have no idea who any of them are married to.
So, but anyway.
But she's with him for his personality. It has to be.
I mean, it's definitely the personality.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so that's the Patriots Hall. Yeah, I mean, it will be interesting to see who wins that election. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Vinatieri, but if it's Edelman again, I'm not going to be shocked. So,
all right, sorry, Logan. I'm a huge fan, but anyway.
I'm a huge fan too. Yeah. It's just Logan got stuck with the times. Came down to him or Vrabel that year, and Vrabel just beat him out. And now there's just a list. Like he was going to lose. It didn't matter who was up against Will Fork. They were losing.
He's stuck. He's the Steve Wisniewski of the Patriots.
Yeah, of the Patriots Hall. Absolutely.
Yeah, because Wisniewski just gets no love just because his career did not sort of overlap a Super Bowl or a great team. So
Logan Mankins was drafted right after they won their third and traded right before they won their fourth. Yeah. So he somehow was on the Patriots for 10 years without winning a Super Bowl. Yeah. Which seems hard to do.
Well, we've got a few people who passed away. So I guess that's how we're going to close off, unless you've got a good, bad, and ugly.
I don't really have a good, bad, and ugly. Just some congratulations, I think, are at hand for three groups. I already mentioned Florida and UConn for basketball.
Should we do that first?
I mean, I don't think we really need to say much else other than congratulations to both. Another big congratulations, I think, is in order to the machine, Alex Ovechkin, for passing Wayne Gretzky as the all-time leading goal scorer in the same number. That's a cool thing. He tied him with one fewer game played and then passed him in the same number of games played.
And Ovechkin was pretty cool. Classy too, because the game before, when the other, I forget who they were playing against, they went with an empty net to try and tie it up. Ovechkin stayed on the bench. He wasn't gonna break the record that way.
Fair, and it's a great thing to do. But Gretzky was there and he was classy the whole way through, saying that when he broke Gordie Howe's record, his dad said to him, when someone breaks your record someday, you treat him the same way. And of course, no one's ever going to catch Gretzky in points because his assist total is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But this was the most likely of the three numbers to fall just because it's the lowest.
Low at 894, which is crazy.
I know, but I mean, his assist is what? 1271, something like that.
Something like that. He's over 2,500 points, I think.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous. It's like the assist number. People don't play, like, teams don't score enough goals for that to ever happen again. So he's going to hold those other two numbers, I think, forever. But this is the one that could have fallen. He was there all the games in a row for all of them and was great about the whole thing. So
and he meant it.
Yeah, and he legitimately meant it.
Because if you saw, I know, here's how I know he meant it. I saw him host Saturday Night Live. He can't act.
But congratulations to Ovi.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Gretzky, who is a worthy gold king for a very, very long time. But just a quick,
I think never thought I'd see it, man. Never.
I didn't really either.
You know, especially like I started thinking, okay, it's going to break maybe 3 years ago. And then when last year Ovechkin, I think he's had only 19 goals.
Yeah, it wasn't very many.
And so it looked like he was an obvious decline, or so we thought. What is that? Over 40 goals this year, and he missed, I think, 5 weeks. So, I mean, the greatest sniper of all time. In our football chat group, though, Paul Lawrence brought up a really interesting point. And here we have a guy who just set the all-time goal record. And he said, do you really think that he's in the top 5 players of all time behind Gretzky, Lemieux, or Richard, and I forget who the other person he said.
I don't know.
But those 4 players are over him on my all-time list. Would you not agree? Or
yeah, I think so. I mean, you have to have arguments for
how. That was the other one.
How? Well, yeah, how. Yeah. So do you have Lemieux, Gretzky, Howe, and Richard?
That's who he had. And
I mean, that's hard. Yeah. Now we get to the next level with Bobby Hull.
I'd have him over Hull.
All right. How about Jaromir Jagr? That's got to be a tough one.
Ooh.
That is, you know what I mean? Jagr is a very tough one.
Yeah.
How about Stevie Yzerman?
I have him over Yzerman.
Sakic.
See, when it gets to like Yzerman and Sakic, though, I mean, like, that's where it gets sort of tricky. I mean, Ovechkin's the better player, but Sakic is the better leader. Ovechkin didn't become a leader till late in the second half of his career.
Yeah.
He just became, I went on record incorrectly saying that Ovechkin, I think I said this, like, I don't even know if we met then at that point. So maybe on record to nobody other than myself, that Ovechkin was never going to win a championship in any level. Never.
Mm-hmm.
For either, even internationally, I said that. But he's not the same guy.
Right. And then, of course, you got to get it. Where do you put goaltenders? That's a whole other category. So,
I started the Not an All-In show yesterday, and we talked about that, which is where we're just going to be talking about, not daily, but whenever there's something important in sports to talk about, and you'll be on that for sure. So, I mean, but like one of those people you put on that, the Mount Rushmore, using that term a second time, of goalies is Hasek, who was not happy.
No, Hasek was very pissed. Mainly by Ovechkin's silence over what's going on with the Russia Ukraine.
What's he supposed to say? And even if he says something, nothing changes. I get it. He is friendly with Putin. They've done things socially together, but I don't know. What do you do in that case?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I don't think it's right either to sort of like block somebody because of their country. I mean, I even felt that way in the late 80s with South Africa.
I mean, I still remember,
as much as I hated their politics, but
I mean, when Paul Simon went there to go record. I can't remember the name of the album, the one with diamonds and the soles with shoes on it.
Is that Graceland?
Is that great? I think it might be Graceland. I think that's right. And he was going there to talk with the Africans, not the native Africans and not the government, the white government. And he was excoriated for that when that happened. So, yeah, it's tough. It's a tough position to be in. But Hashik's got to be up there. Brodor's got to be up there. Patrick Waugh's got to be up there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, then you get into where do you put the rest of the defensemen? Where do you put Chelios? Where do you put Ray Bourque? Like there are just so many people. It's hard to say. I mean, is he a top 15 player all time? Absolutely. Is he top 10? Probably. Is he top 5? I don't think so.
We haven't even talked about Mark Messier.
Yeah, Messier we haven't gotten to.
Yeah.
Who was on the same team as Wayne Gretzky at one point.
Yeah. But, there's a reason why there's not a Wayne Gretzky Leadership Award. And that's not a shot at Gretzky.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Gretzky would agree with you on that.
Yeah.
So, anyway. Also didn't get into those Islanders who are so overlooked. So.
Bossy, Trache, Potvin. What did they... I think of what they were drafted year after year after year, and then Billy Smith and that around that.
Yeah, but time. I mean that's a trio of guys who I always feel are completely forgotten in hockey history by most people, and they were amazing. So anyway, we should get to the folks who have passed away here quickly. So we did we've been a few weeks, so I didn't go all the way back because this is going to be way too long otherwise. But I did go back a couple weeks here. I would like to say that the Beige Mistress has claimed a couple of victims. Amalia Sterbinski, the bronze medalist in the Olympics in handball, the best female handballer of the 20th century in Hungary. She passed away at the age of 74. And Agoda Bujdoso passed away at the age of 81, who won was also on that same handball team. In the 1976 Olympics, who won bronze. So working their way through that 76 handball team, they all got to be careful. That's all I can say about that. From the world of boxing, Hall of Fame boxing trainer Kenny Adams passed away at the age of 84. He was the boxing coach for 26 world champions, 34 Olympians, and 56 boxers who became world champion either at the professional, so 26 professional, but 56 overall were either world champion at the professional or amateur levels during his career.
That's it.
Just that many. So amongst the people he had, Pernell Whitaker, Evander Holyfield, Riddick Bowe, Roy Jones Jr., Corey Spinks, Frankie Leals, Edwin Valero, Diego Corrales, a whole bunch of other people. Absolutely a legend. He also was also worked with Vladimir Klitschko. Actually, Manny Pacquiao tried to get him, but he turned Pacquiao down because his wife was dying at the time, and so Pacquiao ended up moving on. But a member of the International Boxing Hall of Fame was just elected last year in 2024. He actually, at one point, his boxers won 22 straight world championship bouts without losing.
Oh, wow.
I mean, there's not much more you can say about a coach in boxing than Kenny Adams. He passed away at the age of 84. He was one of 10 children. So he passed away just yesterday. So I figured we had to start with him of all the folks.
No, it's good.
Former NCAA chief president Cedric Dempsey. He passed away at the age of 92. He was the guy who really tried to keep gambling out of college sports and financial responsibility on the books. And, well, it dies with him. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
but he was 92 years old. He's also one who negotiated the rights with ESPN and CBS for that for the 92 Duke championship. So he was the first time there. From racing, one of the first great Japanese racers here in the United States, Shigeaki Hattori, passed away at the age of only 61. He won the what did he win? He won the 1996 Indy race at Homestead Motor Speedway. Actually won 2 races that season, actually on the Indy Light Series. But he passed away in a car crash. Apparently his car drifted across the line in North Carolina and head onto another vehicle. He passed away at the age of 61. But he's one of the first Japanese racers to win a race in the United States on one of the major circuits. From the world of baseball, former original Colt 45 and member of the 1964 St. Louis Cardinals, outfielder Carl Warwick passed away at the age of 88. Also played with the Dodgers, Cardinals, 45s, Cardinals again, Orioles, and Cubs during his career. Aren't that many people left from that 64 team left?
No, I'm sure they're not.
Also passing away in a weird situation. Two former major leaguers died in a nightclub collapse.
Yeah, that just happened today as we're recording.
Tony Blanco, who had a cup of coffee back in 2005. He played 56 games with Washington Nationals, but spent most of his career in the minor leagues before moving back to the Dominican Republic. And also the bigger name, I suppose, Octavio Dotel, passed away at the age of 51. He spent 5 seasons with the Astros.
He played for 13 different teams.
Yeah, I think that's tied for the record. Most players.
I think I saw tied for second.
Tied for second.
Yeah, I don't know who's first, but
it's the Mets, Astros, Athletics, Yankees, Royals, Braves, White Sox, Pirates, Dodgers, Rockies, Blue Jays, Cardinals, and Tigers, and was a World Series champion with 2011 with the Cardinals. Also pitched in a combined no-hitter on June 11th, 2003 with the Astros. But yeah, he died in the collapse of the building. So he was traded.
Well, it's got to be scary too, because he was on top of that building. Well, it's not. I don't know what's worse, being in it. Maybe what's worse, being on top, because you're sort of feeling it all happen. If you're in, I guess it's just sort of happen. I don't know. It's a tragedy.
I think it's over quickly.
I hope so.
I mean, the Nelson Cruz's sister was also killed, who was the mayor of, or the governor of the province that they were in, and she was trapped under the rubble and actually called the president of the Dominican Republic to try and get him out, and she died on the way to the hospital after finally being dug out. So, by the way, the player who played for the most teams in NBA and in Major League history is Edwin Jackson, who played for 14 teams.
I don't know that name.
17 seasons, played for the Dodgers, Devil Rays, Tigers, Diamondbacks, White Sox, Cardinals, Nationals, Cubs, Braves, Marlins, Padres, Orioles, A's, and Blue Jays. So he played for 14 teams. Octavio Dotel played for 13. Also playing for 13, Rich Hill, who pitched as recently as last year. Played for the Cubs, Orioles, Red Sox, Guardians, Angels, Yankees, A's, Dodgers, Twins, Rays, Mets, and Pirates. Also had stints with the Cardinals and Nationals, but they don't count because he only pitched in the minor leagues with them.
And I think I got a lot of boxes for moving.
Yes. Mike Morgan pitched for 12 or played for 12. Matt Stairs for 12. Ron Vallone for 12. Fernando Rodney, 11. Paul Bako, Miguel Batista, Henry Blanco, Bruce Chen, Royce Clayton, Bartolo Colon, Joe Gerhardt, who played for 11 teams from 1873 to 1891. So I guess he held this record for a long time. LaTroy Hawkins, Kenny Lofton, Deacon McGuire, Terry Mulholland, Dennis Reyes, Julian Tavares, Gus Whaling, Rick White, and Todd Zeal all played for 11.
That's right there. That's why Lofton's still probably on. Well, not
100%. I mean, it's dumb.
That is a category that one of these things is not like the other.
Yeah.
Absolutely. India 3 times. Well, twice for sure.
He 100% should be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. And he just completely fell off and they forgot about him. It is dumb. Okay. Also passing away from hockey. Hold on, I missed it. Greg Millen, the former goaltender for the Penguins, Whalers, Blues, Nordiques, Blackhawks, and Red Wings. Also a commentator for Hockey Night in Canada. Passed away at the age of 67. Do you have anything to say about Greg Millen?
I got his hockey card somewhere.
Fair enough.
An O-Peachy card from 80-81.
O-Peachy. Oh, my goodness. I almost forgot about O-Peachy. All right. We lost quite a few people from football. So let's start with starting linebacker for the Super Bowl 30 winning Pittsburgh Steelers, Ray Seals, passed away at the age of 59. One of the few people who ever made the NFL with never playing college football.
Oh, wow.
He never actually went to college. He graduated high school and started playing for the minor league Syracuse Express of the Empire Football League. And then went from there to playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Crazy.
In 1988. Signing with the Steelers in 94, playing 2 seasons there as starting right defensive end, and then finished up with Carolina. But I didn't say what he passed away of, but he is a member of the American Football Association's Semi-Pro Football Hall of Fame, where he was elected in 1992 while he was still playing in the NFL. But he passed away at the age of 59.
Okay.
They apparently took their plan, or the NBA took their plans for apparently that Hall of Fame. Former linebacker for the Seahawks and Carolina Panthers, Dean Wells, passed away at the age of 54 from acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Led the Seahawks in tackles in 1996, among other things during his career. But yeah, he was only 54. Also passing away, John Vella, a member of the Super Bowl 11 champion Oakland Raiders. He passed away at the age of 74. Also was on, he's got to be one of the few people in history of sports who, he was also a member of the University of Southern California's baseball team that won the 1970 College World Series. So I wonder how many people ever won the College World Series and the Super Bowl. There's got to be a very, very short list.
He could be it.
He very well could be it.
Yeah.
So he spent his last year in the league in 1980 with the Minnesota Vikings. That Phil Villapiano, and this is one thing I did enjoy. In America's game, the 1976 Oakland Raiders, Phil Villapiano calls Vella happy fella John Vella, saying, "Don't upset happy fella because he will tear your head off." Was what was said in that thing, which I thought was pretty good and worthy of mention.
Love it.
Former AFL All-Star with the Boston Patriots, also drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles, Don Oakes, passed away at the age of 86. He was a tackle out of Virginia Polytechnic Institute, drafted in the 21st round of the AFL draft by the Patriots and the 3rd round of the NFL draft by the Eagles. Started with the Eagles and then played with them 2 years before finishing 6 years with the Patriots. He passed away at the age of 86. I think that is all of my football players. That's why I make sure it is. So I have some music and then some other big names from other stuff. So let's start with the biggest name I would say out of music, in my opinion anyway, Clem Burke, the drummer from Blondie.
I missed that.
Passed away at the age of 70 on Sunday. Appeared on all the band's albums along with Debbie Harry and Chris Stein. Also played for the Ramones for a brief time in 1987 under the name of Elvis Ramone. And was a member of the Romantics from 90 until 2004.
Was he the one who dated Debbie Harry, or was that Chris?
Actually, that I don't remember. I think that's Chris.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because the band almost disbanded. So Chris Stein and Debbie Harry want to break the band up after the original bassist Fred Smith went to television. And Burke was the one who decided to keep them together. So
yeah, one hell of a band. They were supposed to play the Paramount right across from us, but either that got moved or it canceled. So that was one thing I couldn't knock off the list. Oh, who's playing Paramount? And I thought of you because I think I'm going to buy tickets for it. Garbage.
Oh, nice. I love Garbage.
So yeah, I know you do. That's why I thought of you, not because I think of you as Garbage, but because I know that's a mutual.
I mean, if it's in the same genre as the way the band is thought of as Garbage, I'm all for it. But he also, at different times in his career, was drummer for Pete Townsend, Bob Dylan, the Eurythmics, the Fleshtones, Iggy Pop, Joan Jett, the Sex Pistols, the Go-Go's. Like, once he was out of a band, he just kind of played with everybody who needed someone. Played live with Wanda Jackson and Nancy Sinatra. Just did all sorts of stuff. Played with a whole bunch of people. I could just keep going and going and going. But yeah, Burke passed away from cancer at the age of 70. Also passing away, the bassist from the post-punk band The Gang of Four, Dave Allen. He passed away at the age of 69. Also, Wayne Handy, who was an early rockabilly guy. He passed away at the age of 89. I guess a fairly big name. I had never heard of any of his songs, but my wife sang one off the top of her head, so it must have been big back in the day. But Johnny Tillotson passed away at the age of 86. A song that she knew was number 2 in 1960, Poetry in Motion, which I did not remember, but my wife knew all the words. He also had a number 3 hit, It Keeps Right On a Hurtin', which is more of a country song. Number 7 in 1961, Without You. And one of the weirdest songs I think I've heard in a long time, number 7 in 1963 with Talk Back, Trembling Lips, which is, I played that as well. My wife was like, yeah, I've never heard that. But Johnny Tillotson passed away at the age of 86 from Parkinson's disease. Member of the Florida Artists Hall of Fame, among others. And finally, from music, the other biggest name, it won't necessarily mean anything to us, but one of the legends of jazz has passed away, George Freeman, guitar player from the 1940s until his last concert, which was 2 weeks ago at the age of 97.
Oh, wow.
He played with Charlie Parker 4 years. So Charlie Parker, Jackie Wilson, Wild Bill Davis, Syl Austin, Richard Groove Holmes, like all the guys from the 40s and 50s, and where jazz was such a big thing. George Freeman was there. There were not many of those guys left, and Freeman was there all the way through. But he passed away 9 days before his 98th birthday. So just an incredible career, doing what he loved for a very long time, and an absolute legend. His high school was also crazy with just the amount of musical talent when he was there at DuSable High School here in Chicago. Just the list of incredible blues and jazz folks is crazy. Wilbert Ware, John Gilmore, Dinah Washington, Sonny Cohn, Gene Ammons. Like, it's a crazy list. They all went to high school together. It's almost as crazy as Bill Russell and Frank Robinson being on the same baseball team. With
blew my mind when you told me that.
That and with Curt Flood and I can't think of the other one. There's one high school baseball team, just random public high school. Bill Russell, Frank Robinson, Curt Flood, and I can't remember who the fourth one was. It was also really, really good. And then the basketball team also had Bill Russell and Frank Robinson on it. So
it's like that high school in Minnesota. Well, maybe not the same thing. So high school in Minnesota at around the same time had Mr. Perfect, Ravishing Rick Rude, the Berserker John Nord, Tom Zink, and Nikita Koloff.
Wow. That's a lot of people.
Nikita Koloff apparently was not Russian. Who knew?
Shocking.
Yeah.
All right. And finally, we're just to other famous folks. Just very quickly, one of the great musical composers of recent time, William Finn, passed away at the age of 73. He won the Tony Award for falsettos back in 1992. But my favorite of hymns is the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, which is a whole hell of a lot of fun. He passed away at the age of 73. Also passing away, the original Dennis the Menace, Jay North, passed away at the age also of 73. Was an actor and eventually became a correctional officer at one point in his life.
He was a slingshot or a nightstick?
Why not both?
What guy? There you go.
Yeah, but he passed away at the age of 73 from colorectal cancer. So he was in a whole bunch of stuff on TV throughout the 60s. His last TV appearance was actually on The Simpsons in 1999. He did it in a few films as well. Speaking of someone who's on TV and films all the time, Richard Chamberlain passed away.
I thought he was dead a long time ago.
I actually did too. I hate saying that.
He was the miniseries of the 80s.
Yeah, so he was 90. He was 90 years old. He was king of the miniseries. He's the original. He was a teen idol and then became Dr. Kildare from 1961 to 66. He was on Centennial, Shogun, The Thornbirds. He was Aramis of the Three Musketeers, The Four Musketeers, and Return of the Musketeers. He was, I think I remember most as Alan Quatermain from King Solomon's Mine. It's Lost City.
It's not sure one of Sharon Stone's first films.
It might have been.
Yeah.
He was also the
Indiana Jones ripoff, but it was perfectly fine in itself.
Yeah. I think I've seen King Solomon's. I think I've maybe seen Lost City of Gold once. I've definitely seen King Solomon's Mines with I haven't seen it in 30 years.
Yeah,
but as a younger person, I've seen it at least 3 or 4 times.
At least he finally got to be his authentic self because he came out. When did he come out? I think it was like right before I pronounced you Chuck and Larry because he was in that.
Oh yeah, yep, he was in that as well.
Yeah, which I'm sure when that there was a lot of people my mom's age whose heart were broke when they found that out. Because like you said, he was a teen idol. I mean, a really good looking dude.
Yeah, he was a very good looking dude. Also was in. He was also the original person ever to play Jason Bourne on the television version of The Bourne Identity.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he was just in so many things. His last thing he was ever in was Twin Peaks: The Return back in 2017. But he is just an absolute person who was just in everything for like 40 years.
Yeah, and usually he's in it. It's like, okay, Richard Chamberlain's in it. Can't be bad.
Yeah, that's exactly right. If Richard Chamberlain is in it, it's going to at least be entertaining. that as an actor is just about as best thing you can say. If you're not going to win any awards, at least be entertaining. But yeah, he was 90 years old. But then again, the biggest name I think we have to talk about here, and we may spend a little time here, is Val Kilmer. Passed away at the age of 65. Val Edward Kilmer started his career with 2. So first of all, he was the youngest actor ever accepted into Juilliard when he got there. He was only 17. That record has since been broken. But he was the youngest actor who ever got there. And he kind of got a reputation as being kind of hard to work with, but it was just because he was like always so in his role that he kind of gave directors who were not as focused on the role. He was a pain in the ass to them. Let's just be honest. But there's so many things he did that I absolutely loved. I mean, his first 4 movies are 4 of my favorite movies of all time, which are Top Secret, Real Genius.
Mention Top Secret for sure.
Yeah,
if you don't
Top Secret, Real Genius, Top Gun, and Willow. It's Mad Mardigan in Willow, which I didn't hear very many people talk about. Those 4 movies, I have seen all of them many times. My wife does not like Real Genius or Clue. I don't understand how I married a woman who doesn't like either of those movies. But a
woman who doesn't get my jokes. How do you think I feel?
But those 4 movies are absolutely incredible. Of course, my favorite of his roles is as Doc Holliday in Tombstone.
That seemed to be the consensus on X that most people were sort of quoting that. I've never seen that one.
You've never seen Tombstone?
No, you think I would have because I love Westerns, but I've never
seen that movie is awesome.
It just showed up on Hulu, so I should check that out.
Yeah, absolutely watch Tombstone. Why, Johnny Ringo, you look like someone just stepped all over your grave. There's an early scene where they young Billy Bob Thornton in that movie. And they're playing cards and Doc Holliday slaps him across the face. And he just stands there for the whole conversation. He goes, I can't remember the character's name. It's like, I forgot you were still there. And he's like, oh, are you going to smoke that skin wagon or are you just going to stand there and bleed? And finally, Billy Bob Thornton stumbles off. That movie is amazing. I love that movie so much. Heat, of course, is one of the great crime heist movies of all time. Did you ever see Heat?
I have, yeah.
Okay, I was making sure. The Saint is fun. I watched that again a few years ago.
Batman movie.
The Batman movie, yeah. What is the other one that I was going to say? The Doors everyone talks about. I just don't like the Doors music, so I never really watched that movie. The Ghost in the Darkness is another good movie. We actually got to see the Ghost in the Darkness, who are 2 lions. They're stuffed in at the Smithsonian. But yeah, there are a lot of great things for him. It's just sad that what he ended up towards the end of his life. So
what was it? Was it cancer too?
Yeah. He officially died of pneumonia, but he was weakened from the cancer.
He had just the last 10 years of his life, and I remember when he first came out, on Top Secret and Real Genius. So it would have been what?
Top Secret came out in 84. Real Genius 85, Top Gun 86.
Okay, yeah. So he was the first time I saw Brad Pitt. You're just too good looking for this world.
Mm.
And you don't expect somebody who looked like that to be that dedicated as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
To sort of cruise on his looks. Because I know I would if I looked like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have had to work on this great personality I have now.
Yeah, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is another one which I enjoyed that he was in. But yeah, just it's just sad because he was so good, particularly at the beginning of his career. True Romance is another one that was really good.
Iron Man 2.
What?
It's Iron Man 2, I believe. Or is it Iron
Man? Perhaps. I don't think I ever saw Iron Man 2.
That was Iron Man's one of the villains. I think it's 2. I could be wrong.
No, it's not listed on his IMDb page, so maybe I'm wrong. So anyway, yeah, just a person whose work I enjoyed greatly, and 65 is too young. So
one of the great ones for sure.
Mm-hmm. So that's everything I got.
Okay, well, check out everything else that we're doing here at notInHallOfFame.com. There's the new show that just launched, Not In, All In, where I'm going to have various guests. Evan's going to be voluntold to do a few. Where we're just going to be talking about sort of the news of the day, the things that are sort of important. Whenever there's something really important in the sports world that I want to talk about, I'm going to have someone there with me. There's the elevator show with Chris Meridian. That's been a lot of fun. Every month we sort of look at who made their Hall of Fame case up, who made their Hall of Fame case down. Looks like we're going to be recording some more soon. I hope this is the case. Vinny Laspinuso wants to record some more for Vinny Makes the Hall of Fame Case for. And they're great deep dives. And my favorite thing about Vinny's show is it's not just so much the deep dives that he does, it's that he actually sometimes reaches out to some of the relatives of those people who might have passed away. Vinny's done some great work, especially on regional levels. He is personally responsible for getting a few people into state halls of fame. He's got a new project that he wants to do. You know what he wants to do? I'm not going to have you guess because he won't. But he wants to get Tom Green into the Canada's Walk of Fame.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's actually sort of corresponded with Tom Green.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, check out his early rap career.
Okay.
I think it was called Organized Rhyme. Check the OR. You like it so far. He's not a great rapper.
Fair enough.
I still remember too, because like, oh my God, he's got the Ottawa Senators hat. No one ever had that in a rap video before.
Or since.
Or since, hey, Ottawa's looks like they're playoff bound.
Yeah, it's more than you can say for the Sabres are still keeping their record of most consecutive seasons without making a playoff, right?
Yeah, and also coming soon, because I also voluntold you for this one. You didn't say yes to this, but I'm saying yes for you. You're going to do the basketball preview for the playoffs.
Oh, fine. Absolutely.
And the hockey one, I don't know if you want to join in on that one. I know Chris won't do the basketball.
I've been out on hockey this year a little bit, so
all right.
I wouldn't be as good this year. I would have been great 2 years ago, but this year I've been that's one of the things that has suffered a little bit, particularly with the Bruins for the first time in a while, just being out of it. So
are you going to be cheering for Florida since they got Marchand?
I will cheer for Marchand, much like I cheered for Marchand when the Canada and U.S. played in that hockey game. But that is as far as I am willing to go. There are a few teams I dislike more in sports than the Florida Panthers. So
I was watching a bit of hockey earlier. Was Florida Toronto? I didn't realize. I'm amazed I didn't know this right off the top of my head. The last 5 Eastern Conference champions were in the state of Florida. So 20-year-old Kirk Buchner is going, no! Whereas 52-year-old Kirk Buchner goes,
Yeah, the Senators have already made the playoffs, so they're already in.
Oh, so they're okay. So they got the first wild.
They officially made it in. So they are going to be one of the wild card teams that Toronto. They're going to be the team Toronto's going to play.
I would love that.
Yeah, it'll be Toronto, Ottawa, because Washington's has a ton more points, and they'll get whoever the worst of the 2 wild card teams are. Yeah, which is looking like it's going to be Montreal.
Somewhere Gary Bettman sort of thinking Ottawa, Winnipeg, Stanley Cup. No.
I mean, I think that would be cool.
I would too, but I mean,
at least you guys would win that way. So
that's the only way Canada's going to win a Stanley Cup.
You need Canada against Canada. I mean, you're going to have Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, Winnipeg, Edmonton, and maybe Calgary, but that seems less likely. Seems it's more likely to be Minnesota for that last spot.
Minnesota is a team I want nothing to do with.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with that. But I'm already doing too much here for the hockey preview, which is going to happen pretty soon. I guess in a week or so. Let's close off wherever you are, wherever you may be. Make today a great one because it never comes again. Take care, everybody.
See you later.